Hello, hounds of history and forensic auditors of the human appetite. Welcome back to the crime scene we call the kitchen. Grab your coffee, make it a double, you're going to need the caffeine for this one, and adjust your lighting. We're about to perform a post-mortem on the future of your dinner plate. Let's be honest, as a species, our track record with lunch is questionable. Historically, humans have eaten some truly unhinged stuff. We aren't just talking about the 18th century mock turtle soup made of calf brains and salt, or the 1920s trend of drinking radioactive Radithor water because we thought it gave us pep. We have survived the era of lead-based food coloring, swill milk produced by cows fed on distillery waste, and meat that was mostly sawdust. So, when I tell you that the future of food looks like a deleted scene from Blade Runner, don't act surprised. We've always been guinea pigs, we're just getting better at the branding. Today we're looking at the top 10 craziest foods you, yes you, currently contemplating a lukewarm burrito, will likely be eating by 2050. We aren't just talking about veggie burgers. We're talking about things that glow, things that talk back, and things grown in a tube using the DNA of an extinct woolly mammoth. Buckle up, hounds. We're going from the swill milk scandals of the past to the bioreactor banquets of the future. And you'll want to stick around for number 1 because it's the moment food stops being a choice and starts being a subscription service. Coming in at number 10, we're literally eating the past to save the future. Welcome to the world of extinct protein. For years, we've been trying to make plants taste like cows, but scientists recently looked at a 4,000-year-old mammoth carcass and thought, I bet that would go great with a side of fries. A company in Australia actually used the DNA sequence of a woolly mammoth to grow a giant meatball in a lab. They didn't eat it yet, mostly because they were afraid a 4,000-year-old protein might trigger a prehistoric immune response that turns your insides into outsides. But by 2050, extinct meat is going to be the ultimate flex. Imagine a dodo bird nugget or a saber-toothed tiger steak. It's the ultimate historical food scandal. We hunted them to extinction the first time, and now we're bringing them back just so we can put them in a taco. It's peak humanity. We aren't just playing God, we're playing God with a Michelin star. The real unhinged part isn't the biology, it's the intellectual property. In the 18th century, the Royal Society in London had a glutton club where they tried to eat every animal on Earth to catalog them. They ate hawks, they ate owls, they even tried a toasted penguin. They thought they were being scientists. We now know they were just weirdly hungry colonizers. In 2050, who owns the flavor profile of a dodo? If a company sequences the DNA, do they own the rights to the dodo nugget? Imagine a world of bootleg biodiversity, black market labs growing off-brand ox, or generic giant sloths because you haven't paid the licensing fee to the De-Extinction Corporation. We're going from the Copyright Act to calorie copyright. But if you think eating the past is wild, wait until you hear how your kitchen is about to become your doctor and your drill sergeant. Number 9 is 3D printed hyper-personalized meals. We've had 3D printers for a while, mostly used to make plastic baby Yodas. But the future of food is inkjet gastronomy. We're talking about cartridges filled with powdered proteins, fats, and fibers. But here's the witty twist. Your printer is going to be linked to your smartwatch. This isn't just about convenience, it's about biodata integration. If your watch detects that you're low on vitamin D and had a stressful Zoom call, the printer won't let you print a pizza. It'll force-feed you a 3D printed stress relief salmon cube with integrated CBD and extra magnesium. It's the death of the recipe and the birth of the algorithm diet. Historically, we had the Pure Food and Drug Act of 1906 to stop people from putting formaldehyde in milk. In the future, the scandal won't be, is it real? It'll be, who hacked my toaster to make my dinner taste like copper and sadness? Number 8 is for the breatharians who actually want to survive. It's called air protein. This sounds like a scam your weird cousin would try to sell you, but it's actually NASA-grade tech. There are microbes called hydrogen autotrophs that can turn carbon dioxide, the stuff we're currently choking the planet with, into a protein-rich flour. Think about the irony. In the 19th century, London was covered in the Great Stink because of sewage. In the 21st century, we're literally going to be vacuuming the air to create a protein powder that tastes like, well, nothing. It tastes like the existential dread of a carbon-neutral future. But hey, it's carbon-negative steak. You aren't just eating, You're performing a civic duty. It's the first time in history where overeating might actually save the ice caps. Just don't ask too many questions about the fermentation tanks. It's basically a brewery, but instead of beer you get a gray paste that has the nutritional profile of a ribeye. We're cleaning the air with our stomachs, but are you ready for the bug branding campaign that's been 20 years in the making? It's finally winning. Here comes number 7, high designer insects. Now look, I know, every Future of Food listicle for the last 20 years has told you that you'll be eating bugs. And you've spent those 20 years saying, no thanks, I'll stick to my chemically separated chicken slurry. But 2026 is the year the bug branding finally wins. We aren't going to be eating whole roasted locusts that look back at you with their many, many eyes. That's bad marketing. We're talking about micro-livestock, refined into neutral protein isolates. Think cricket flour cookies that have more iron than spinach and more B12 than beef. Think mealworm butter. It's like peanut butter, but with a slightly nuttier, earthier, reed bug-like finish. The historical scandal here? We've been eating bugs forever. The FDA actually allows a certain amount of insect fragments in your chocolate and peanut butter already. You've been a bug eater your whole life. The future is just making you pay a premium for it and putting a sustainable sticker on the jar. It's the gentrification of the arthropod. Number 6, bioluminescent biofoods. We're entering the era of aesthetic nutrition. Using CRISPR gene editing, the same tech that might one day cure diseases, scientists are experimenting with adding jellyfish DNA to yeast and plants to make them glow. Why? Because humans are magpies with credit cards. We like shiny things. Imagine a midnight sashimi that glows neon blue on your plate. It doesn't add flavor, but it sure looks great on whatever BrainLink social media platform we're using in 2035. But remember the hounds of history rule. Whenever we mess with aesthetics, someone gets hurt. In the 1920s, the radium girls painted watch dials with glowing paint and ended up with their jaws falling off. Now, I'm not saying your glowing sushi is going to make your teeth fall out, but maybe, just maybe, wait for the version 2.0 before you start a glow food diet. If glowing fish sounds weird, wait until you meet the soybean that thinks it's a cow. We're going molecular. Number 5, molecular farming. This is the ultimate invasion of the body snatchers, but for salad. We aren't just talking about GMOs, we're talking about plant molecular farming. Scientists have figured out how to reprogram plants like soybeans and peas to grow actual animal proteins inside their leaves and seeds. Imagine a soybean that grows casein, the protein that makes cheese melt and stretch. You aren't extracting a substitute, you're harvesting a plant that is literally half cow on a molecular level. It's the first time in history where the vegans and the cheeseburgers might actually have to share a table without a passive-aggressive argument. Historically, this is the inverse of the 19th century plaster of Paris candy scandal. Back then, we put fake stuff in real food to save money. Now we're putting real animal DNA into plants to save the planet. It's Frankenfarming at its finest. Let's talk about number 4. Precision fermentation. This is basically beer 2.0, but instead of getting you drunk, it's making your breakfast. We're using genetically tuned yeast and bacteria as tiny microscopic factories. Feed them sugar and they poop out whey, egg whites, or even honey. No chickens, no cows, no bees, just a giant bubbling vat of productivity. We already use this tech to make insulin, but by 2026, the market for animal-free dairy is projected to hit nearly $5 billion. Think about the 1850s swill milk scandal again. Those distillery cows were biological filters for waste. Now the filter is a high-tech microbe in a sterile lab. It's cleaner, faster, and way less depressing. But the witty catch? We're essentially turning our food supply into a software platform. One glitch in the yeast's DNA and your milk might accidentally come out tasting like strawberries or worse, laundry detergent. We're turning yeast into cows, but what if we turned pond scum into the world's most expensive steak fat? Number 3 is the snot revolution. We are moving to number 3, and it's worse than you think. Microalgae lipids. We've been told for decades that fats are bad, then some fats are good. Now the future says, forget the fish, go straight to the source. We're cultivating specific strains of algae to produce high-purity omega-3 oils and designer fats that mimic the mouthfeel of Wagyu beef. It's the oil of the future. The historical parallel? The margarine wars of the 1880s, where the dairy lobby forced margarine makers to dye their product a disgusting pink so people wouldn't buy it. In 2035, the scandal will be algae fraud. Is that gold standard algae oil actually just repurposed pond scum from a leaky reactor? Whenever there's a premium on purity, there's someone in a back alley ready to sell you a counterfeit. Number 2. Hybrid cultivated cuts. We're moving past the chicken nugget stage of lab meat. The future is a 3D bioprinted steak that combines plant-based fibers for structure with cultivated animal fat for flavor. Companies like Mission Barns are already perfecting cultivated fat to make plant burgers actually bleed and sizzle like the real thing. It's the ultimate compromise, it's the serial killers of the future, blending the best of both worlds until the line between natural and engineered is so blurry you'll need a microscope just to order off the menu. But remember, in 1937, the Elixir sulfanilamide disaster happened because we didn't understand the solvent. In 2040, the solvent is the scaffolding, the 3D printed structure the cells grow on. If that scaffolding isn't as clean as the marketing says, we're back to the swill milk days, just with better lighting. We've engineered the meat, the fat, and the glow. But what happens when the food starts tracking your browser history? Number 1. Nutrigenomics? This is it. We aren't just eating food, we're eating data. By 2040, your fridge, your watch, and your internal sensors will talk to each other. Your dinner will be a 3D printed precision-dosed meal tailored to your specific DNA, your current blood sugar, and even your mood. It's the death of the guilty pleasure. If your body doesn't need that extra slice of pizza, the printer simply won't make it. It's the ultimate nanny state for your stomach. Historically, we fought for the Pure Food and Drug Act to stop corporations from poisoning us. In the future, we might be fighting for the right to poison ourselves just a little bit, to eat a dumb burger that hasn't been optimized for our peak performance. The real unhinged part? Digital terroir. Historically, terroir described how soil and rain made a grape taste unique. By 2040, we're replacing it with data lag. Your precision-dosed breakfast burrito might have its dopamine-triggering compounds dialed up by 5%, because the algorithm noticed you've been browsing a competitor's grocery app. We aren't just eating nutrients, we're eating a feedback loop. We've gone from lead-poisoned wine to engagement-optimized oatmeal. So there you have it, Hounds of History. A menu that ranges from mammoth meatballs to algae fat sushi. It's bold, it's witty, and it's frankly a little bit terrifying. We are living through the greatest culinary shift since a caveman first dropped a piece of raw bison into a campfire. We've gone from surviving formaldehyde in our milk to thriving on microbes in a tank. The future of food isn't just about what's on the plate, it's about who controls the recipe. As we move into this Blade Runner banquet, don't forget the lessons of the past. Stay skeptical. Ask questions. And for the love of history, make sure your precision nutrients don't have a user agreement that gives your fridge the right to judge your life choices. If you want to stay ahead of the next historical food scandal before it hits your 3D printer, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, join the Hounds of History, and let's keep digging. Which of these 10 foods are you most excited to try? And which one makes you want to go live in the woods and eat berries like a 17th century hermit? Let me know in the comments. I'm Historical Detective, and remember, the past is a warning, the future is a buffet, and the truth, well, the truth usually tastes like a mix of copper and existential dread. Stay smart, stay hungry, see you in the next one.